YouTube. It's 2025, and I figured before I made any concrete art goals for the year, I would try to figure out what type of creative I am. And in order to do that, I'm going to be taking the creativity quiz live on twitch.tv/isuna19. So basically what this quiz is, and I've seen it float around a lot on TikTok and Instagram, it's a 51 question quiz where you determine what your creative type is. The goal of this quiz is to reduce overthinking and imposter syndrome and learn ways to refine your craft pretty much. It's a 51 question quiz which takes 5 to 10 minutes, and yeah, like I said, I've seen this quiz a lot on social media recently, so I'll probably have the quiz linked down below in my description or in the comments, but yeah, I have no idea what's in this quiz or what creative type I am, so I'm going in just as blind as y'all, so sit back, relax, get a snack or whatever, and yeah, we're gonna start the quiz. Taking the creativity test, because I'm not really sure what type of creative I am, or whether or not I'm a quote-unquote real artist. So, yeah, like I said, I don't really know any of the questions here, but I figured this would be good as like a little Q&A about me as an artist. So yeah, let's get started. Have you studied your craft formally or informally for several years? I've been an artist for like half my life, so I've been drawing for like 13 years. Honestly, probably a lot longer, but I know that I took art seriously starting as a teenager, so yeah. I am mainly self-taught, but I have took a few art courses. Mainly at during COVID, I took a few art courses. I took a couple last year, but like nothing too serious. It was more graphic design related as opposed to like drawing though. But yeah, I have studied art for several years, both formally and informally. So the answer to that is yes. Do you often get asked for feedback or advice? Not so much on YouTube or Twitch, but I have gotten asked for advice on TikTok a few times, whether it's how I drew something or what supplies I used. So I would say yes here. Back in the olden days when I was used to post my art on Amino, I did get asked quite a few questions about what I did, so I guess that also technically applies. So again, I'm going to say yes. Have you successfully sold your art or received commissions? I guess technically I have took commissions in the past, although I wasn't completely paid for them. But I did take commissions, and I did used to do requests on Amino for like stickers and stuff. So, yes, I have gotten paid for my art. It wasn't completely though, so again, yes I have. You consistently experiment with new techniques or styles in your practice. I would also say yes, because I made a whole video about art styles and why I think it's not as important to have a consistent art style as it is for you to be constantly practicing or improving. I like to experiment with a bunch of different things, whether that's like different mediums, different art styles, pretty much anything under the sun. So I would say yes, I do experiment quite a bit. I've been experimenting a lot with digital art, and it's highly experimental by nature. Like I said, I also do graphic design, so it kind of makes me think outside of the box when it comes to arts and all things art related. So again, I'm going to be answering yes. Do you find joy in the process of creating regardless of the outcome? Now this is a tricky question. And it also depends on what medium I'm using. Because if it's watercolors, then yeah, I'm having fun most of the time. Even if things don't always work out. I do find myself getting a little bit more frustrated with digital art. But it's probably because I don't understand Clip Studio enough to I guess, figure out how to effectively use it. But I'm getting better at it, so I'd say overall I do find joy in creating stuff. There's a reason why I stuck with art for like over a decade at this point. So again, I'm gonna answer yes. Do you feel confident in your abilities and skills? There's things that I definitely want to improve. I need to get back to studying anatomy, so maybe I'll make a little series about me studying that, either on or off stream. We'll see. I think I've picked up quite a few skills that stuck with me, but I don't think I'm as confident as I probably could be, so I'm actually going to answer no here. But I'd say I'm actually in the middle, but they don't have a middle option here, so for now, it's no. Are you motivated to push through creative blocks and challenges to complete your projects? Again, I recently made a video about art block and burnout, and how talking about my issues helped me move past them, so while it can be a struggle to deal with art block or creative block in general, I would say yes. I don't tend to stay with having an art block for very long, so it's usually a few days, and then I get over it, and then I go back to drawing, so again, I'm going to answer yes. Do you set specific goals for your practice and work consistently towards achieving them? Like in my head, I have certain goals that I want to achieve, but the way that I get there isn't always the most consistent. But that's not necessarily because I don't want to do it, it's just simply because I don't have the time. So would I say that I'm the most consistent in working towards my goals? I would say probably not. But looking at it objectively, I know I could probably be doing more. So I'm gonna answer no here. Do you regularly seek feedback from other creatives or mentors to improve your skills? Not as much as I probably should be. Again, I was talking about this a lot in my burnout video about reaching out to other artists, and that being something that I struggle with, so being completely transparent, no, I don't seek feedback as much as I probably should. The answer is no. Are you proactive in seeking out opportunities to showcase and sell your work? Well, let me take a little break. Are you proactive in seeking out opportunities to showcase and sell your work? Before I made content, I would have said no. Although, like I said, I did take a couple commissions in my early years as an artist, so now I guess if I make my own emotes, and technically I'm thinking about making my own Ko-fi or like Patreon for artwork. I'd say I'm more open to it now than I was before, and therefore I would say yes. And if I do make a Ko-fi or like a Patreon, I'm gonna make an announcement about that. But I need to figure out my schedule first before I can commit to something like that. So, for now, I say yes. Are you dedicated to practicing your craft regularly, even when feeling uninspired or unmotivated? Again, I would probably say yes, because like, even if I don't feel like drawing, I still doodle in my sketchbook, or digitally, like, every day. Even if it's like 5 minutes. I still take the time to set up and like do some art. So I would say yes, because I draw every day. You believe the importance of self-promotion and marketing your craft? This is an interesting question. Self-promotion. Again, if I was doing this like before I started streaming, I probably would have said no. But I feel like sometimes artists, not all artists, but some expect to get like instant results on social media, but they don't really do any work as far as marketing their work. But like if you don't market toward an audience, your art and your accounts unfortunately might not succeed. But marketing doesn't have to be all about crunching numbers. Like I said, I'm starting to do graphic design, so being able to market yourself can also be a way in which you express yourself. So I don't think self-promotion or marketing your artwork is inherently bad, and you aren't less of an artist by doing so. So again, I'm going to say yes. Do you often find yourself comparing your others to work and feeling inadequate? I used to do it, but now I don't. I mean, I look at other artists and see like, wow, what they drew was pretty cool, but I can't really compare my art style to anyone else. And yeah, like I said in my art style video, which I keep referencing here, I think it's not as important to compare your artwork to someone else, because like style is subjective, and like you're just opening a can of worms and not really leading to anywhere productive. If you like something about someone else's art style, you can study it, but don't trace them. At least trying to pass it out as your own art style, because it's not. But there's nothing wrong with studying from your favorite artists. But as far as comparing myself, I'm gonna say no. I don't really do that too much anymore, because I don't really see a need to. I draw the way that I draw, and that's pretty much it. So the answer is no. Do you struggle with self-doubt and the fear of not being a real creator? Another tricky question. Trying to figure out what is or isn't a real creator, it really does depend on the person. Like if you post your art on like social media, you technically are a creator. There's nothing really real or unreal about it. I guess self-doubt as far as being like having imposter syndrome, but like if my silly behind can like start streaming and making videos on YouTube, then like any of y'all definitely could. So I think in order to see your creativity go blossom in the way that you want, you're gonna have to take risks and not let self-doubt and fear control you. I used to struggle with this, but again, I think I'm more confident in myself than I was before, so I'm gonna say no. Do you frequently feel like your work is not good enough to share with others? This is a complicated question, because like I feel like yes or no aren't my answers. I'd say something where in the middle. Sometimes I just make art that I don't want to share on social media. Not because I don't think it's good enough, it's just, I think having to make everything for social media is a harmful mindset. I think overall, I would also probably say no, because like, it's okay if you don't share all of your artwork with everyone. Even professional artists have artwork that they'll never share to anybody. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good enough, so I'm gonna say no here. But in reality, I'd probably give like an in the middle answer here. Do you feel guilty when spending time on your work instead of more important tasks? I'd say yes, sometimes. It depends on the task, I suppose. But, if anything, I wish I could spend more time with videos and stuff. And maybe that might change. Who knows? I think for this I would probably answer no. I'm gonna answer no. Do you often feel like you're not talented enough to pursue a career in your craft? Again, if you asked me that question a year ago, I probably would have said yes. Obviously, there's still quite a lot of, like, I need to learn, but, like, again, I started my channel, like, well, posting videos on my channel, like, 6 or 7 months ago. And I'm almost up to 150 subscribers somehow. And I'm so thankful for everyone who supports me, both on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Isuna19. Cause yeah, y'all really helped in me wanting to do this. So, I'm gonna say no. There's a lot of self-doubt, but I'm trying to move past it, so. No. You feel like a fraud when people compliment your work. I wouldn't say a fraud necessarily, because these are very yes or no questions. I think it's interesting to see how other folks react to your work, because it's a fresh set of eyes versus you who's likely worked on your picture for like many hours at that point. But hey, if people are complimenting your work, I think it's a net positive, because like there's a lot of mean people out there, so me being able to take the joy in what you're working on, I think is a good thing. So you definitely shouldn't feel like a fraud if people compliment your artwork. So again, I'm gonna say no. Do you often hesitate to start a new project due to fear of it not turning out as expected? Again, if you asked me a year ago, I probably would have said yes. But now I realize that many long-term projects just take a lot of trial and error. And I think the fear holds a lot of artists back from doing what they want, so I'm gonna say no, because I'm gonna try to make a webtoons this year in 2025, and I never made a webtoon before, so yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'm excited for that, and I really hope y'all stick around to see what I work on, because I've really been cooking off camera. I have plenty of ideas for that, so. Before I would have said yes, but now I'm saying no. If there's something that you want to do, start it now. Don't wait. I regret not starting sooner, because if I did took the jump sooner, I think I'd be a lot further along, so don't let fear hold you back. So here, I'm gonna answer no. Do you frequently seek validation from others about your work before you consider it complete? This is interesting, because again, if I was a younger artist, I probably would have said yes. But since like the past year or so, I think my whole mindset about art has changed. Just because your art doesn't farm enough updates doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. But I guess with social media, a lot of people quantify their worth as far as likes and comments and all that stuff. But it's really not as important. Not as important as learning what you're drawing and understanding the subject matter. So, I'm gonna say no again. In spite of everything else, no. Do you struggle to let go of perfectionism when creating, even if it hinders your creative flow? I do sometimes still struggle with perfectionism, even when it comes to editing and videos and stuff. My biggest gripe is figuring out how to properly set up my audio. I think in the last video it did sound a lot better, but I know it could be fixed even more, so I would say yes, I still struggle with it. But I'm trying to move past it, but I still have my moments, so I'm gonna say yes. You spend more time thinking about creating than actually creating. Honestly, I would probably also say yes to this. I do try to draw every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes, although it's usually like half an hour or more. But I definitely think more about what I want to create, more than I create sometimes. I'm not the proudest of that, but I'm trying to learn. Last video was better. That's good. and YouTube if you catch me talking. I'm talking to my chat because I'm live on Twitch while I'm doing this quiz. So yeah. I spend more time thinking about creating than creating. Yes. You struggle to trust your instincts when making creative decisions. Honestly, no. Before I did digital art, like I said, I did a lot of painting and stuff. And painting definitely takes a lot of trusting your instincts, trusting the process to see what works and what doesn't. And with paint, you can mainly fix problems. So, I'm gonna say no. Everything is a happy accident. And even if it doesn't work out, it can spawn ideas to do something else, so it's not the end of the world if things don't turn out quite right. You frequently worry about the opinions of others affecting your work. I used to have this mindset, but not as much anymore. I would say no. I just draw what I want. I'm not trying to fit into any particular label. So again, the answer is no. You tend to avoid sharing your work with others due to fear of criticism. No. If I am clearly messing something up, I would rather someone tell me about it than try not to hurt my feelings. Cause criticism isn't inherently bad. It helps you learn, so there's nothing really to fear. I do think some artists get a little bit sensitive about it, but that's different than unsolicited advice. I remember one time I was in an art VC or group, and someone was asking for criticism from their art, and I think the problem was that their art just didn't stand out against the background, so you could hardly see what they drew. The person got so upset they pretty much left the call, but no one was saying it out of malice. They were just trying to help the person improve. And I think this is a common problem with the younger artists, 'cause sometimes they try to hide their flaws with their art as far as it being a creative decision, but it's more or less they just don't have the skills yet to fix bad habits, and it happens. But it's not the end of the world. I think if you keep studying, there isn't really anything that's too hard to draw, so getting criticism can be a good thing. So definitely don't try to avoid it. So yeah, the answer is no. You struggle to understand how social media works. I would also say no. The only main exception to this is Instagram, because no matter how many times I try to revive it, my Instagram's dead, and I probably do need to make another account. I think the reason why my Instagram was dead is because I wasn't consistent enough on there. And I do think older accounts just get lower engagement, and there's not really anything you can do about it. But I think I pretty much understand social media, and I made several videos on YouTube talking about how artists are dealing with different social media platforms, so yeah, go check that out. I'll have that link down below in my description, or I'll have that pinned to a top comment. I'm not sure yet. But I don't think I struggle with social media. I'm gonna say no. Are you afraid your work is too niche to be relatable, shareable, or likable? Again, I kind of just draw whatever I like, so I don't really think about it being shareable. And I don't know if my art falls into one niche or not. Again, I just draw what I like. I kind of just lost the patience to conform to a certain art style or whatnot, so I think, yeah, it's not as important as you might think it is. Just draw what you like. I think trying to conform too much into a certain niche can actually do more harm than good. At least with how I see it. and how I go about my own artwork, so I would say no. Do you find it hard to enjoy the process of creating? I'd say no, because, like, I like creating. I like coming up with new ideas. I like drawing. Some ideas of the process might be more difficult than others, but again, I don't think that's a bad thing. They're all pieces of a puzzle, so being an artist means that you're gonna have to do some things that you may not enjoy, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Overall, I like making art. I've done it for so long, so I'm gonna say no. Do you find yourself burned out and unable to create due to pressure of school, societal expectations, or all the rules required to make good work? Other than, like, anatomy, I don't really understand the point of rules for art. You can draw whatever you want. I will say that sometimes it can be hard to draw because of obligations, but I still try to make the time to draw every day as much as I can. This doesn't feel like a yes or no question because I kind of am in the middle here. I feel like these are two different questions. If I would say burnt out because of, like, work and stuff, then yes. But rules, I don't necessarily agree with. I'm gonna say no here because of the last part of the question. Because I don't really agree with rules. There's no rules with art. If you mark something on paper, it's art. If you do something on a graphic tablet, it's art. There's no right or wrong answer here. So I'm gonna say no. Do you find yourself reminiscing on the good old days of creating? Not really. I do miss doing my, like, colored pencil drawings, but I don't have time to work on something like that anymore. So I'm gonna say no. The only time that, like, reminisce is if I'm doing, like, a sketchbook tour, or if I'm redrawing old art. But other than that, I'm gonna say no. That's not very often. You feel like you've lost your creative spark? Honestly, in, like, 2024 and the end of, like, 2023, I'd say my creative spark has been, like, better than ever. I want to work on more art and more projects. So I'm gonna say no here. I never felt more motivated. Did you have teachers discourage or judge you for working in certain topics or styles? Again, since I was mainly self-taught as an artist and I only did, like, online courses, I was never really discouraged for drawing a certain way. So I'm gonna say no. I never had a quote-unquote real art teacher. You find yourself not knowing what you should focus on in your learning? I'm gonna say yes, but self-admittedly in my burnout video I do mention that I have an issue focusing on what I should learn. But I want to try to change that, but as of now, I'm gonna say yes. Do you get overwhelmed by all there is to learn? Overwhelmed? I'd say no, because, like, I know I want to make a comic, so in order to make a comic, I know I need to study anatomy. I need to study perspective. I need to figure out what type of panels I need to use to get a certain look. And I need to learn how to do landscapes, because that's going to be important for this particular project, so these are things I sort of have an idea on, that I just need to refine, so I don't think that's particularly overwhelming, so I think, again, I'm gonna say no here. Are you just beginning your creative journey? Again, I don't really know how to answer this question. Like, I'm still young, but, like, I've been drawing for over 10 years. So I guess in a way I could say that I'm still at the beginning, but like I also feel like that's not the right answer. But I guess for this quiz and I guess the mindset that I'm working on, I guess I'll say yes. But yeah, this quiz is actually pretty fun. I'm glad I found it. I'm gonna say yes, even though I don't necessarily think that's the right answer. You still struggle with the fundamentals of your craft. I do need to practice more perspective, but like value and coloring, I don't know. I wouldn't say struggle, but I do need to study more. I'm gonna say no, cause like, again, I feel like these questions are a little bit more than yes or no, but you find it hard to see a clear path of learning. I feel like with art in general, and I can't say this for other creative fields, of course, I'd say art is actually pretty straightforward. You draw what you see, especially if you're trying to study, so it's seeing perspective, seeing the different values in a piece or a picture. I think the way of learning drawing is actually pretty straightforward. I think sometimes people complicate the part of actually drawing, so I'm gonna say no. You're easily discouraged by challenges or setbacks in your projects. Other than like tech issues during streams, I try not to get too discouraged. So I'm gonna say no, cause like the video that I had planned where I did the journal, my whole footage got like corrupted, so I can't use any of it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to scrap that video. But this could be a video where I can begin to talk about my art goals for 2025, or I'll make that a separate video. I'm not sure yet, but I don't think I'm that discouraged by challenges, especially if I learn something new, then it's totally worth. So no. Do you struggle to find inspiration or motivation to create regularly? Again, I think it depends on what I'm working on. Cause like, sometimes it's like easy, and sometimes it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. If it were regularly, I'd say no. I usually have what I have in mind that I want to draw. Do you struggle to find a balance creating with a bunch of other responsibilities? Yes, 100%. I like to do more for my projects, but that's not possible, so I'm working with the time that I have. Do you think of all the things you need to improve and wonder what's the point? Nah, art is a journey. It takes years. If we put ourselves to like certain deadlines, then yeah, you're gonna have this mindset, but if you really want to improve, then you aren't gonna likely say stuff like this. You just have to keep grinding, keep drawing, keep doing whatever craft you're doing. Because like, art is kind of like my life, so I want to keep improving, so no, I don't think this at all. Do you worry there's not enough hours in a day to improve your work? I do agree with that. Like, if I could forgo sleep to work on art, I definitely would. So I would say yes. Do you tend to keep your creative process private and personal? Honestly, no. I don't really see the point in keeping it private. Like, if I have an idea of something, I don't mind sharing my process. The only thing that I would mainly keep secrets is if I'm working on like a project that I think you guys will find cool. Or if it's something like sponsor or corpo related for my channel, but other than that, I don't really see the point in hiding it, so no. Do you prefer working alone on your projects? Yeah. Although I do want to do more collabs this year, so maybe I'll try to reach out to some other artists. Commissions too? Yeah. I do want to try not to be as antisocial, but I do prefer working alone. Do you believe that your best work comes from moments of deep introspection and solitude? It depends, because sometimes I just have ideas that pop in my head. Other times I'm just thinking, hey, maybe this is a good idea to draw. Because, like, I could doodle something in, like, a notebook in, like, 5 minutes and think, hey, this is the best drawing I made in a month. And other times, I don't know. I don't really think too much about it, I just do it. But I guess overall, I guess I could say yes. Although, again, I'd probably be, like, in the middle here. You often feel misunderstood by others in your creative vision. I don't necessarily think that. I feel like sometimes, again, sometimes folks have the wrong idea about artists. We're not like some deep, moody, broody people. We're just normal people like anyone else. Sometimes we just draw things to be drawing things and there's no other meaning behind it. So, in my case, I just draw something because I thought it looked cool or it was funny. So in that case, I don't really have that much of a creative vision, so I'm gonna say no. Have you developed some understanding of the fundamentals, but still feel your work can be inconsistent at times? Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. Acknowledging that and working past your bad habits is still, like, golden, I think. Even professional artists can be inconsistent. So there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Do you feel confident in your craft but still struggle to get paid gigs? Well, I'm not taking commissions currently, but I'm thinking maybe in the near future I might set up a little Patreon or something. So, I'm gonna say no. Because I'm not open for commissions right now. Are you confident in asking money for your work? Like I said, I have gotten paid for my artwork before. So I would say yes. Do you feel ready to sell your work but struggle with things like planning, finding clients, managing contracts, etc.? The biggest issue is time. Because I think I could sell prints or stickers or something, but the time to ship and plan and do that stuff is time that I don't have. So I'm gonna say yes. But hopefully that will change very soon. You want to share your creative ideas, but it feels like other people just aren't interested. I mean, I share what I want. It may or may not be the most popular thing, but I do it because it's fun. I don't necessarily care if someone finds it interesting or not. So I'm gonna say no. Nope, we're complete. So after all those questions, I'm come to find out that I'm the happy hobbyist. Which I'd say is pretty accurate, but let's read what this says. For you, happy hobbyist, the joy is in the flow. Sometimes the experience is so enriching that you lose track of time. I'd say that this is very accurate of me. I've played many all-nighters drawing when I was younger. You understand the deeper personal reasons for expression. The importance of communicating your feelings is so necessary to you as breathing. Agree. You create for the sake of your pure expression, and you love how it feels to get lost in the process. Absolutely. Your creative decisions are really influenced by others, societal pressures, or social media. People have described you as eccentric, different, or unique. Art has helped you develop a strong sense of who you are, and that has done wonders for your confidence. Again, I definitely agree with that. Even when you're uncertain about how a piece will develop, it's more important to you that it simply gets out by whatever means. Yeah, I think that's basically where I'm at with my art. Um, Before I did used to worry a lot about how something would look, but now I worry more about the process, I suppose. Do I learn something out of it is the important part, I believe. Happy hobbyists can benefit from sharing their raw creative experience with others to let them know they too can express freely without fear. This will inspire and build deep connections while giving others permission to step out of their comfort zone. I think a lot of people would benefit if they stepped out of their comfort zone, creatively speaking. Social media is making people feel like they have to conform to be successful. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. You just gotta do you. You can't really mimic someone else because that'll never work. Nurturing the love they have for art in a balanced way. The passion is addictive, but also important to exercise, drink water, and get proper rest. Oof. Yeah, it is addictive. But, of course, be active, good posture, and rest, and all that good stuff. Seeking educational resources based on their curiosity as to not dim their passion. I can agree with that. Seeking continued education with an open mind, but not letting the rules deter them from being themselves. Yeah, I mainly agree with this. Like, I try not to take it too seriously. I want to improve, but like, it's still like drawing, and drawing's not supposed to be super serious. Like, if you're not having fun with it, then what's the point? You shouldn't have to feel like you're forcing yourself to do it. I do it because I like it. Because like this passage says, I'm obsessed with art. But learning how to deal with that, I think, will make me a better artist. So overall, I'd say that this quiz was pretty much a success. And yeah. Again, I'll probably have this link down in the description, but yeah. I want to do a quick little bonus video because things are changing in my life, and I may not be as active as I want to be. So yeah. I'll see you on the next video, YouTube. Have fun and stay creative. Bye.